Hey guys, what do you know? Back-to-back wrestling talk. I love it, I love it, I love it. And look, we got WWE Saturday night's main event happening this Saturday. Of course, Saturday night, Saturday, makes sense. November 1st, guys, and it's happening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The pre-show begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and all of this is going to happen at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, and you can watch it live if you're in the U.S. on Peacock, or if you're international, you can watch it on Netflix. Guys, the card is stacked. It's absolutely stacked. They've got 4 championship matches, including 3 world titles, making it one of the biggest Saturday night's main event lineups in years. It's a must-watch, Peacock exclusive, blending Raw and SmackDown stars. You don't want to miss this one, guys. So I want to talk about the first event. The first one. And the first match is going to feature Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship. Boy, this never gets old, guys. This rivalry has become probably one of the most emotionally charged disputes, brutal showdowns between any two individuals, guys. And you know what? It's all for the gold. WWE Undisputed Championship gold is on the line. And on one side, you've got the unbelievable, super charismatic champion, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. He carries the weight of a legacy and everything he's built since 2024. The people's, he's kind of like the people's champion, the new modern version of the people's champion, right? I mean, no one will ever take that title away from The Rock. But, I mean, Cody lives for his fans. He does everything for his fans. And so that's on one side. And then on the other side, all right, you've got the relentless, I'm not going to say maniacal or sinister, but he's definitely got an edge to him, and he's a Scottish warrior, and he simply refuses to be denied. Okay, so this is how it all went down. All right, this is how the storyline kicked off. McIntyre viciously Claymore kicks Rhodes to the announce table, turning a rivalry very, very personal, and he sends a message to the champion, essentially telling Cody Rhodes that his days are numbered. Right, so Rhodes was sidelined, the stakes rose, the tension ratcheted up, and in return, Rhodes mounted his comeback. He ambushed McIntyre, right, on the 12th of September, during a SmackDown event, essentially reminding everybody he didn't come to lose, right? So McIntyre earned another crack at the title by defeating Jacob Fatu in a number 1 contenders bout. I mean, it essentially set the stage for a huge, big clash. And meanwhile, at WrestlePalooza, Cody Rhodes retained. Despite interference from the official, McIntyre was denied again, and the frustration started to boil over, right? And so, look, McIntyre has begun playing psychological warfare. He's known for his psychological games, right? Ahead of an upcoming match, this is typical Drew McIntyre. He gets in your head, and then that's when he starts to beat you from the inside. So by the time you actually meet up with Drew McIntyre, you're like a jelly in the inside, and then that's it. He swoops in and he takes you out. So he gets you from the inside out. That's his style, right? So this is the kind of guy that you have to be seriously careful of, because Drew McIntyre, at any given time, he can react. And he could do things, he could pull things out of the woodwork, and he'll hit you so hard that you wouldn't even see it coming. So sources suggest that McIntyre may walk out with the title if a babyface ally of Rhodes inadvertently causes chaos during the match. Who could that be? So, specifically, the involvement of Jimmy Uso could technically cost Rhodes his opportunity. Now, on October 17th, SmackDown, Rhodes and McIntyre brawled in a surprise match. Commentators also noted a noticeably more vicious edge from Rhodes than ever before. And you guys probably saw it. Rhodes was animated. He was fired up. And he just went off. It's usually Rhodes is a little bit more calculated. He's more strategic. He almost looks very diplomatic and civil as well too. But this time he was unhinged. He was in a suit and all and everything, and he just went on a different level, guys. Right? So from a storyline perspective, McIntyre has voiced his frustration publicly. Everybody knows that, claiming that he's been robbed of chances and that he will stop at nothing to become champion. So this isn't just another title defense. I mean, we're talking about legacy here versus animated hunger, right? Rhodes is defending more than gold, guys. He's defending a promise, a career-long pursuit of the big one that his father has never ever held before. And there's nothing more important to Cody Rhodes than his late father, Dusty Rhodes. Okay? And so McIntyre, on the other hand, is trying to fight to reclaim his top spot that he earned again and again, but he hasn't fully recaptured that since his last world title run. Now, the physicality has intensified, right? It's escalated, and the personal stakes has never been higher than before. If McIntyre wins, it completely reshapes the landscape. The Scottish Warrior becomes the new face of the WWE's top tier and the new face on the World Heavyweight Championship title. And Rhodes faces a major career crossroads. If Rhodes retains, it solidifies his reign and builds momentum towards something even bigger. Plus, the added complication of interference or backstage manipulations means this match could easily slide into chaos, so expect the unexpected. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, what if Jimmy Uso's or someone allied to Rhodes ends up causing a major distraction that could end up costing Rhodes his title? This is a possible scenario. And what if McIntyre actually wins clean? This could be a major turning point in his career, and it would mean that there could be some serious character evolution, possible changes in Rhodes' character as we see it on WWE. And what if Rhodes is able to fight off those mind games? Because a lot of people think he can't, because already he snapped in the last SmackDown. He lost it. So that McIntyre is in his head. And guys, this match is happening tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot here to kind of take in. But I mean, if Rhodes is able to survive and fight off the mind manipulation, the interference potentially from Drew McIntyre, I mean, there's a possibility that Rhodes comes out of this. But I mean, McIntyre with his mind game manipulation, he's got so many mind tricks and arsenal like up his sleeve. It's going to add a lot of layers of complexity to Rhodes, to being able to try to come out of this in some kind of sane fashion. Is that like, I mean, could this, like, if the fact that we already know that Drew's already in his head, and if Rhodes succumbs to that, he loses his title, will this be a long-lasting effect on his mind, on his character, on his demeanor? Like, what kind of a Rhodes are we going to see after that? So anyways, I'm talking to you about what if scenarios. Personally, I'm going to lean towards Rhodes retaining his world title, but not without controversy. Okay, I see McIntyre coming very, very close, probably closer than he's ever been before, and probably even winning the war of words and physical punishment, because we know that McIntyre is one of those guys who could, if he gets a hold of you, he will beat you to the ground and to a pulp. And this is what I'm afraid of for Rhodes, because if Rhodes ends up surviving this match, yes, it'll make him stronger, but how will this affect his mental game moving forward, considering that his mental acuity has already been somewhat compromised by Drew McIntyre's mental manipulation, right? So can Rhodes neutralize this chaos? Does he still walk out, champion? I mean, what do you think will happen? Do you think Rhodes will finally fall, or do you think he's going to prove that he is on a different level and he will remain champion? Drop your prediction in comments below. I'm leaning more towards Cody Rhodes winning this one. I think Drew McIntyre will get his title, just not tomorrow night. Okay, let's talk about CM Punk. Let's talk about Jey Uso. Again, for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship title, left behind by Seth freaking Rollins. Now, this match has all the hallmarks of a meaningful moment, a vacant title, two very different challengers and friends, storylines that run deeper than just who gets the belt. At stake, you have the World Heavyweight Championship belt on the Raw brand, currently unheld because Seth Rollins was stripped of it due to his injury. So here's how we got here, guys. Let's kind of unravel some of this, and let's talk about why this matters. So the title was vacated after Rollins was beaten down big time by the hands of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. That forced the WWE's hand and set the stage for a new champion. Now, we don't know who that champion is going to be, but CM Punk earned his shot by outlasting Jey Uso and LA Knight at a triple threat match. Jey Uso earned his way via a massive battle royal, eliminating major names to lock his place. This is what we know thus far. And in the lead up, Punk and Uso both squared off in a heated face-to-face. Jay's attitude darkened and Punk's focus sharpened. This is fact. Jey, guys, you know what? I've been watching that ever since Jey lost his title, he hasn't really been the same. He's not as meticulous or strategic as he once was. He seems to be a little bit more of a wild card right now, and he thinks and acts with a lot more emotion than he does with his brain. And look, wrestling is not just about your brawn and how strong you are. It's about your mental acuity and game as well too. And the edge, something's off about Jey. He's gotten a little bit darker as well too, right? I mean, he's an unbelievable competitor. He's proven himself in the Battle Royal. He's eliminated some big players in the WWE to earn his spot, but his attitude has darkened. Now, meanwhile, CM Punk, CM Punk seems to be very, very laser beam focused on what he wants, and it seems like this is it. He wants this opportunity. This could be his biggest opportunity yet to grab hold of WWE gold. And I don't know, ever since AJ Lee's come back, there's been a new step, a new kick in the way CM Punk has been acting, and he seems to be kind of almost back in his old fighting ways, and so the fact that AJ Lee's back could have really helped boost CM Punk a little bit, because he is wrestling at a different level altogether now, right? So this is an amazing chance for Punk to reclaim top-tier gold, to prove he's still relevant and dominant in the heavyweight conversation, right? That landscape, guys, is vast. And for you to be there, it's a huge opportunity, but very, very few people can get there. Now, for Jey Uso, I mean, stepping away from his tag team legacy to make his mark as a singles competitor and did it as champion. I mean, he's got a lot of momentum, right? I mean, but at the same time, he wasn't a champion for a long, long time. He's got a lot to prove still, right? So for a WWE storyline to exist, you know, I mean, here, this match could really reshape how things look, right? You've got the top guy picture on Raw. You got the dynamics. You got the vision of the bloodline, and then the Usos, you know, complicating things. You know, I mean, this storyline is getting deep. And then just guys, remember, Paul Heyman's always a wild card. You never know what you're going to get with Paul. And then you also have the likes of Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate. He's back. How does this all play out? I wouldn't be surprised if we see Brock make an appearance on Saturday night's main event. So we're talking about complicating things. That could add a whole different layer of complexity like we can't even imagine. So for the fans, you got two different styles, two different storylines. Is it going to be the veteran stepping in or the rising force breaking through? This is one that I cannot miss. So I look in the Punk, like there's a lot of discussions, there's a lot of talks about the possibility that Punk might be retiring soon. Okay, there's a lot of people on social media thinking that it's going to happen. You know, there's also been some hints potentially from Triple H that maybe we might have a new champion, and maybe that champion could be CM Punk. Right? I mean, Jey Uso also made a surprising comment about his brother, Jimmy Uso, indicating that the rivalry is not just about gold, it's about individual identity. So the relationship between the Usos could factor heavily in the outcome of what happens between Punk and Uso tomorrow night. So, this is interesting. So it's going to be, it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But, the what if is really Punk walks away as champion, locking down that the world heavyweight title gold that he's been wanting for quite some time, but it's been around the waist of Seth Rollins, and now with Seth out of the picture, this might pave the way for CM Punk to walk in and snatch that gold. But it's not going to be easy because Jey is a former world champion himself, and he's not going to make it easy for Punk at all, right? So, but I'm wondering how the Uso storyline could potentially factor in this one. I'm more concerned about what Paul Heyman's going to do, if he's going to do anything, because there's no way that, on one side you got Bronson Reed, you got Braun Breaker, but what about Paul Heyman? Paul Heyman always finds a way to do something, and lately it hasn't been favorable towards CM Punk. And then with the advent potentially of seeing an appearance from Brock Lesnar, gosh, that could really shake things up like no tomorrow. So anyways, guys, there's a lot of interesting things happening in here. If I had to call it, I believe CM Punk is going to win. He's going to win the title. It's not going to be clean, but he's going to win, right? So let's see what happens, right? I expect some controversy to happen, which was essentially is going to keep the storyline kind of brewing a little bit longer. Jey Uso's win feels possible, but I think Punk still has the momentum. He's a mega star. People chant his name everywhere he goes around the world. That presence in the WWE might have potentially bankrolled his title for tomorrow night. Either way, it's going to be a meaningful moment in the Raw World title picture, so I'm excited to watch it. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think CM Punk is going to reclaim the title and dominate for many months to come? Or are we going to see something interesting happen and Jey Uso ready for his breakout world title moment? Please drop your prediction and reasoning in the comments. I can't wait to hear it. Now, moving on. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. This is where power meets prestige, guys. This is if that's what you're after, this is what you're gonna get: a title match packed with raw emotion, loyalties that are questionable, big implications, and at the center of it, you've got Tiffany Stratton, the current world champion, riding high since cashing in her Money in the Bank and establishing her dominant reign. Now Jade Cargill, she challenged for the title at SummerSlam. All right, now she came up short. You know, the seeds that she planted were firmly planted, and although she came short, she's been picking at this for a long, long time. And after Tiffany beat Kiana James, right, a post-match attack by Sheeraz set the scene. Jade appeared seemingly to help, but instead, what does she do? She delivers a vicious attack on Tiffany's knee and embraced her new heel persona. I had a feeling about Jade Cargill. I had a feeling she was going to turn heel. And you know what? It totally suits her character. And the turning point, guys, happened at SummerSlam, if you guys remember, where Stratton defeated Cargill. But that balance kind of completely shifted when Jade took out control during a SmackDown confrontation. Tiffany's knee, if you remember, it was targeted. And then Kiana James and Sheila were involved. And then the dynamic changed, like the simple challenger versus champion turned into something a lot more personal. And this is where, for Tiffany, she wants to prove that her reign is legitimate. How is she going to do that? Because Jade wants to show her that she's got the power to be able to back up and to hold that title. Now, if Tiffany wins, her championship is going to feel somewhat validated. But if Jade wins, I believe, she claims both the belt and the momentum, and she is going to be, look, if Jade wins, guys, she's going to be dominating for many, many, many months to come. I don't see anyone taking her out for that Women's World Championship. She is a freak of nature. She is athletically gifted. She's at the top of the division. And this could be her time. It could be, right? So WWE also announced that Tiffany Stratton was being evaluated for a knee injury, after Jade's assault in SmackDown. But even despite this, right, she's still competing. She's still good to go. Now, Jade Cargill turning heel. I mean, this could actually carry some momentum. There's been a lot of talk about it on social media, and even some sarcasm as well too. There's a lot of criticism, of course, right? A lot of people not really embracing it, but I think this is good. I think this is a good look for her. This is going to give her that edge, and my only concern with Tiffany is her knee, right? How bad is that injury? And so, is that going to create some momentum change or momentum shift in the favor of Jade Cargill, perhaps? I mean, is that going to help kind of facilitate title change because of that? And maybe she's going to, kind of wear and tear down that knee a little bit more in the ring, and to the point where Tiffany won't even be able to continue. It's going to be interesting to see, right? Tiffany's win record remains extremely strong, right? She holds one of the top win percentages in the WWE women's division this year. So that could be that could be tested, right? So is this really a title challenge, or is this about making a statement, right? I mean, we all know that Tiffy Time's reign has been impressive, but the questions that linger about how much she's being tested are always going to be there, because some people think, although Tiffany has taken on some of the most big, some of the biggest names in the women's division, the question is, has she taken on, how will she act in a full-on fledged fight against Jade Cargill, right? And so anyways, this is where I think Jade is going to have the edge. I think this is going to be a big shift forward for her. If Jade wins the title, she becomes completely the new power figure in the division, and Tiffany is going to be exposed, right? But then a new era of a new era of Jade Cargill is going to begin, and so will a new era for Tiffany as well too. And perhaps maybe they can lock in again, maybe at WrestleMania. But I mean, if a title change does happen, the question comes down to is how's that going to impact the division? Will it change? Most likely, it will change. But I mean, will Tiffany come back chasing the belt and then say in WrestleMania, or will Jade continue to be the dominant force in that division for many, many months to come? Right? I personally feel that this is Jade Cargill's time. She's doing all the right things. Her turning heel, I think, was absolutely genius by WWE Creative, and it's building towards a shift, in terms of a new look to Jade Cargill. A new era is about to begin. This is what I truly believe is going to happen, and I also believe that if Tiffany were to win, she'll do so under duress, and meaning the outcome will still change everything and how the match will be perceived by many people watching, but my heart tells me that Jade is going to win. A title change is going to happen, and she's going to walk off with WWE gold. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Tiffany can overcome the odds and keep her title, or do you think this is Jade Cargill's time, and she's going to get crowned as the women's new WWE World Champion, and start this new era of Jade Cargill? Amazing. It's going to be great. So let's talk about Dominik Mysterio versus Penta Zero Miedo versus Rusev. Oh my gosh, guys, for the Intercontinental Championship belt. This is a triple threat match. This feud has got all the ingredients of a wild, wild matchup. You got a cunning champion. You've got the high-flying challenger, and then you got the brute force of Rusev. Oh my gosh. And unexpected outside forces, of course, could always be around to just stir up the pot a little bit and add a little bit of spice to the whole thing. So first, you got a number one contender match between Penta and Rusev, right? This is what happened, right? This was a setup. And with the winner essentially earning a right to challenge Dominik Mysterio. Now, Dominik Mysterio is a champion. There's a lot of talk about whether or not he's being tested. And so there's a possibility that Dominik might be exposed for a lot of things, because a lot of people think he's not a good champion. But then there's other people on the other side who think that Dominik is the right guy for that title. So it really comes down to which side do you fall under? Or do you think that Dominik's a great champion, or do you think he hasn't been tested properly and he's going to be exposed for being a lackluster champion and lose? I don't know. But I remember not too long ago, there was some interference between Los Americanos, El Grande Americano, Rayo Americano, and Bravo Americano. Okay? And this caused a no contest. In response, Raw's general manager Adam Pearce steps in and he rules that Mysterio's next title defense has and would be a triple threat dominated by Dom, challenged by Penta, and Rusev. So meanwhile, Dominik's tactics have been increasingly shady backstage. Alignments, new tattoos, underhanded finishes have bolstered Dirty Dom's heel persona to a whole new level. So this is what's exciting a lot of people and also turning off a lot of people at the same time. Either or, he's getting a lot of there's a lot of discussion happening about Dominik Mysterio. And that can't be a bad thing, because the more somebody talks about you, you're obviously in the news for some reason. So, Dominik is flashy, right? And look, he's held that Intercontinental title since WrestleMania 41. Now, his style has shifted from kind of being a mid-card fighter, to a very manipulative champion. It's almost like he's following the same kind of playbook as his uncle, the late great Eddie Guerrero: lie, cheat, and steal. And it seems like those seem to be the winning strategies for Dominik Mysterio's playbook. Now, Penta, he brings us high risk, high energy, high reward kind of style. If he wins, this is going to be a major singles advantage for him. Penta is a fan favorite. People love him. He brings so much personality, so much character, to his role, and for him to become the next Intercontinental title could actually be a good thing for the WWE. But then you got the likes of Rusev. Now Rusev, he's just got that brute strength factor, and ever since he's come back to the WWE, his presence, it has been really intense. There's a lot of people that if they see Rusev, they walk the other way, right? But then my question comes down to, are we going to see some more outside interference again? And I talked about this a little earlier, but if Los Americanos gets involved, that's going to add another layer of complexity to this whole match, right? And it's not just like champion versus challenger, it's champion backed by dirty tactics versus two challengers who want to uproot that reign and win the Intercontinental title. So the whole Intercontinental title scene has changed. It just means fresh new direction. And the question comes down to, is Dom going to retain and continue on with this dominance? Time will tell. Time will tell. I mean, look, at the end of the day, there's a strong possibility that Dominik is going to stay champion, right? That heel run will continue. It suits him. It suits his character. And, I think about it because if Penta wins, then he's going to be making a big statement. And that high-flying energy of his, winning gold could totally reshape that Intercontinental landscape like no tomorrow, right? And then if Rusev wins, look, he becomes that physical centerpiece, of the division, fresh storyline, fresh contenders. So, anything can happen, guys. But as long as you have Los Americanos hanging around, and then Dirty Dom's tactics, yeah, guys, something could be brewing, right? If I'm a betting man, I'm going to believe that Dominik Mysterio retains, but only by the skin of his teeth, guys. All right? He's very cunning, and he's probably going to win, but it's not going to be a clean win. Now, that could cement him as champion for a little while longer, but I'm also leaning towards Penta being the one to eventually topple his reign and win gold. Not tomorrow, but perhaps at another big card in the near future. That's my personal opinion. I think the WWE is setting up Penta for some big things moving forward. But for now, I think Dirty Dom is going to win tomorrow. All right, so who do you got it? Who do you have walking out as Intercontinental Championship? You got Dirty Dom? Do you got the fearless Penta, or the powerhouse himself, Rusev? Who do you think is going to win that? Guys, it's fan frenzy everywhere. WWE's posts are blowing up on social media, on Twitter and everything. People are talking about the Jey versus Punk clip. People are talking about Dirty Dom and his dirty tactics, and essentially fans around the world are talking about how stacked Saturday night's main event is. I don't think I've seen a Saturday night's main event that had so many high stakes involved. And the ticket buzz is going crazy. Ticket sales are strong. Netflix International is talking about what an amazing event this is for the fans and how popular it's becoming. And then there's unofficial rumors and whispers of a possible return by the one and only Chris Jericho. Wow. And in a Randy Orton legacy reunion? What? New Bloodline debuts? What? So anyways, there's a lot of speculation, guys. There's a lot of hype that's building up for this event. It's going to be absolutely crazy. I believe, again, Cody's going to retain. Punk grabs gold. Jade is going to dethrone Tiffany and take gold. And I believe Dom wins. But I don't know. my heart is also telling me that Penta might just take it. Penta doesn't win. If Penta doesn't win tomorrow night, Penta's gonna win in a future pay-per-view for sure. And guys, all of this is happening. All of this is happening on Saturday. But today, guys, today is Halloween. I hope you guys enjoy. I want you to get out there and trick or treat or give out candy and enjoy the festivities of Halloween. I want to thank you guys for joining me. My name is Sheeraz, and as usual, please smash a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.